since we're talking about face content, how cute do I have to get? Do I have to come with at least a half face and my hair? No, I'm serious, Jack. Do I have to get cute or
So
what?
I was sitting at work minding my own business when this guy literally kidnaps me. And turns out he's the king of this fae court called the Night Court, kidnaps me, and then locks me up in his castle. Beautiful castle, still don't appreciate it.
Hey folks, welcome to the BookFunnel podcast, where indie authors get real-world advice on writing, publishing, and growing a career on their own terms. Whether you're just starting out or you're deep into your author journey, we're here to help you build your readership, boost your book sales, and connect with your audience. Each episode, we aim to bring you insights from authors, experts, and industry insiders who've been there, done that, and then some. My name is Jack. I'm our lead author support specialist here at BookFunnel. And I am joined today, as always, by my co-hosts, Kelly Tansey and Emma Allison, and our guest for this episode of the BookFunnel podcast, a returning guest, the CEO of Align Digital Solutions and author of over 30 books, Kate Hall. Kate,
Hello.
welcome back to the podcast.
Thank
Good
you
to have
so
you
much
back.
for having me back. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Last chat was really great. And this time I am running on like 5 hours of sleep. So we're going to have so much
Right.
fun.
It's going to be a good one. I can tell just from sort of the pre-show here already. I can tell your first appearance on the BookFunnel podcast was a blast, and it was loaded with information. We talked about TikTok for authors was the whole thing. A lot of us got a big download from that. I know a lot of the authors who've seen that. It was like a huge download of information. For those in the audience though who don't know who you are, I'll give you the chance real quick here to just introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hey, hi, I am Kate Hall. I run, as you said, Align Digital Solutions. We are a marketing agency for authors, but our main thing, the core of our values, has been helping authors make more money. Because when I got started in, making money online, in building a career, it was as an author. Like I literally have my books with me so that I can show you because I have 2 pen names. So I have showed you 2. And writing seriously changed my life, and TikTok specifically. I know some people hate TikTok, and if you're hate watching this episode, I get it. I also hate TikTok so much, but I'm not going to let it win. Like if somebody hates me, I'm not going to let them win. Therefore, I have to defeat TikTok, and I have to help authors defeat TikTok as well.
I like it.
So yeah,
Defeat is the right word.
yeah, I'm not going to let it win. And I'm also not going to make you sing and dance either, though. But yeah, so my author career had kind of stalled out and crashed when I got started on TikTok. And then I started and within a month was hitting 5K months again, which was absolutely insane because by the time I had crashed and was then needing to start making money again, I was literally living in a shed with no bathroom. And when I say shed, I don't mean crappy house. I mean a literal garden shed that had electricity, but no running water, no bathroom, no real kitchen. We had a crock pot we could plug in, but we didn't have anything. And now my family and I are getting ready to, because of all of this, we're actually getting ready to move to Europe, and we're going to be traveling Europe for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, we're really
So-
excited.
Slay.
So-
All right.
Insane,
A
yeah.
real rags to riches story there is what you're
Yes.
saying, basically.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And even
didn't mention
the
that last
shed was
time.
a privilege. I can absolutely admit the shed was a privilege
Yeah.
because it was in my mom's yard, and we were able to pay the monthly fee to have the shed. And there was definitely privilege in that, but it still sucked.
Yeah. Well, everybody needs help at certain stages of their life. So, but yeah, wow. You didn't mention that the last time you were on here, so that's a little piece of your backstory. That's really neat. But so yeah, great. It's going to be a good talk here. Before we get to the conversation, though, we do want to catch up here with Emma and Kelly. What have you guys been up to? We do this at the beginning of every episode. It's kind of like our personal accountability session when we have the podcast. We're all authors, so what have we been doing lately? We know Kate is slaying, obviously, but what have y'all been up to? Whoever wants to volunteer to go first.
Go first. So I had released the book. If you haven't caught up in a while, I released my book in August, the end of August, and my writing practice immediately stalled out because I was killing it, right? I was writing every day. Because I was on deadline. And then I've just it's been a little bit of a struggle to get back to the other series that I've been working on. And so I've been going through, I'm about at the 75% mark in my draft, and that's always where I stall out. So I've been rereading and re-going over what I'm keeping, what I'm taking out, what I want to get rid of, and I'm hoping that actually sparks the last 25%. And then I've been just playing with ads, trying to get my ads to start. I mean, my ads are doing great. Like, I'm on Facebook, it's killing it, but still working on it. So I'm hoping I get some tidbits for that too, because
Right.
yeah,
One brick at a time. One brick
one
at a
brick at a
time.
time. Yeah.
You know, that's what I can't remember who said that or where that comes from. But yeah, just one brick at a time. One brick every day, and you'll make it. Emma, what about you?
I'm still doing post-release admin and then translations with BookShift.
That's
And
right.
Germany is about 40% of my income now. France is
Wow.
what, 19%, and the others. Yeah, and see, I'm not doing KU with the translations, and I think the translations is the final straw.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take all of my US stuff out of KU in the next
Yeah.
30 to 90 days. Like I can't do it no more. Like
That's interesting.
yeah.
That's
It's funny,
interesting.
as I just put mine back in, and yours is, you're like, I'm ready to take it out.
Well,
I
and it's
mean,
funny.
because with
I pulled out a
bundles and
KU too
everything, I
recently.
told you all about how I bought that bundle for $34 off of social media from the gal, and I'm sitting here thinking, if she can sell me a bundle and get $35, I can do that too. Like instead of
Yeah.
messing
Yeah.
around with KU and trying to figure out page reads and shit, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's funny. I pulled out of KU as well, building a Shopify store. It's in fact it's pretty much ready to go. I just have to like pull the trigger on it. And then working on some new stuff that I'm going to be delivering through Patreon and some other methods. So I'm taking a different approach than I have been. And I liked what you said about it's encouraging to hear that like translations outside
Yeah.
of KU are having a
And
big impact.
I'm not even spending, I have like some drip ads on AMS, but
Uh-huh.
they sell in Germany the way books used to sell on Amazon US before they made everything pay to play. So I'm like,
Yeah.
get it now. But you mentioned shops. Kate, don't let us forget to talk about TikTok shops and how all
Everything you
of
see
that
behind
works.
me is my TikTok shop.
Sweet. I wanna know all about how that works when we get to there.
Yeah. Yeah, we should spend
Yes.
some time on that for sure.
I was actually going to say, is anyone selling their books on TikTok shop? I've heard it's great.
Not yet. Not yet. I know there is an upcoming BookFunnel feature that I'm really excited to use on
Yes.
TikTok that I think so we can maybe talk about that, Kate, and I can tell you about that and get your live reaction to it and then how it fits in with all that, like live streaming on TikTok and whatnot. Anyway, we'll get to all of that. I know last time, like I said, we had you on here to talk specifically about TikTok and more about like
Mhm.
how you'd post content on TikTok and that sort of thing. Obviously, it's been a few months since you were on. In fact, I can't remember exactly. It was one of our
It's
earlier
been a
episodes.
year-ish.
It has been actually. Yeah.
It's been a minute. I think it was shortly after I broke my arm, or was it before I broke my arm?
I can't
think
I
you had a
don't
recall.
broken arm.
remember a broken arm. I don't
I
remember a
don't think you
broken arm.
did.
Yeah.
So it might have been
It was
before.
over a year then. I broke my arm
Okay.
like a year and a month and a half ago.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, see, that's what happens when you're a. Oh man, I have
Time
young kids,
flies,
so my
man.
memory is
Yeah,
shot.
I
But
just had you on 5 minutes ago. Oh yeah,
right, you were just here
that was
yesterday.
2016.
Right. But obviously, since then, some things have shifted when it comes to social media. And I know that's one of the things that you wanted to talk
Mhm.
about with us today. So, how have things changed since the last time you were here? Just social media in general? I imagine things have changed on TikTok, but I imagine they're changing on other platforms as well.
Actually, everything is the same and it's easy.
Perfect.
So just do it. No, I'm kidding. No, it's changed a lot. Last time I was on here, I was talking about do these 35 slideshows, right? That was like the big thing. And that worked really well for a solid 2 years. And those were a fantastic 2 years for a lot of authors. But because a lot of authors have been, and not all, but a lot of authors have been abusing the system and putting spicy scenes in those slideshows and just like really, really heavily censoring them, TikTok has been really, really cracking down. There are some authors, slideshows still work great. Good, wonderful. I love that for you. But for the majority, slideshows have kind of stopped working. Whether they are the 2-slide slideshow trick that got really popular this spring, or if it's the 35 slideshows. I never want to say slideshows ever again. That's horrible.
What's the difference there between, because I know you detailed that 35 slide.
So the 2 slides is usually like a screenshot from the book and
Mm.
then like another page, or it's like a hook and then the next page is a screenshot from the book. And then people, like, if they scroll past the hook on the first page, then they're more likely to read like the full length and be on that post for longer. So a lot of things have changed and there's a lot of reasons for it, but a big one is because TikTok is getting really strict on book talk because so many authors and book talkers are like, I'm going to post a like censored and code worded to hell version of this extremely explicit scene, despite it being against TikTok's terms of service. Don't get me wrong, I love a spicy book. My books are so spicy. Actually, part of my advertising with this one is that 20% of the book is spicy scenes. And it is weird spice, y'all. If anybody here reads monster romance, get it.
All right.
There you go, Emma.
Let me go.
So, like, I'm not anti-spice, but TikTok is, and I'm pro learning how to market your dang books. Also, you might notice I'm better at not cussing than I was last year. I've improved. Mostly because a lot of the conferences I go to, they're like, we can't have you cussing all over the place. And I'm like, but it's so fun.
Those don't sound like very fun conferences.
Well, it's just because some people are sensitive about it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I actually, just on a tiny tangent, I spoke at NINC recently, and they were like, you can have like a little cussing. We just couldn't have cussing in your like title for your like for the name of your panel. Because my original name for my like workshop for my session at NINC, which they were like, we can't make that your title. The original name of it was Unfuck Your TikTok.
I want that book. I want that book.
Yeah,
But I know
so
what
that was
that means. I know what that means. That's the thing, is that word in that context is actually doing its job and telling you.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And actually a different conference did let me use that as my title, and I like forgot that it was my title. So when I showed up and like walked in the room to do my speech, I was like, how much cussing I'm allowed to do? And they were like, well, the name of your session is Unfuck Your TikTok. So
Yeah,
I
we
think
kind of
people
just expected it. Right.
But they told me like, just keep the cussing to a minimum. So I was like, so it's like PG-13 rules. I get like one big cuss word. And they were like, yes. And so in the microphone, I went, motherfucker, and then kept going.
Are you coming to Author Nation?
Boy.
I am not. I was not invited to Author Nation, but I'm also going to be living in Germany by the time Author Nation comes around.
Right.
So I'm like, you'd be really fun with drinks. I'm like, we got to get together, girl.
Fun fact, I'm this fun despite the fact that I don't drink.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. This is 100% sober here. This is sober Kate. So I'm actually a very fun person. And so anyway, back to like the actual point is TikTok. But speaking of not being able to, cuss 80 times in one sentence. So like with TikTok, they've gotten a lot more strict. And so because so many authors were just trying to sneak around the rules and put an explicit spicy scene in their slideshows to sell their books, which like, yeah, sex sells, whatever. The problem is then it kind of ruined it for everyone. So TikTok was like, okay, we're just going to like really suppress views on anything on book talk specifically that's slideshows. Anything that's book related, if it's a slideshow, we're going to start suppressing views. And again, some authors, they're still doing it. And sometimes you'll scroll and still see like the most like absolutely messed up, raunchy, spicy scene that like, even if you are very anti-religion, makes you be like, maybe I need to go to church. And like sometimes people will get away with that, right? But don't depend on you being able to get away with it. And don't depend on being able to get away with it for a long time, because that can screw up your income. If TikTok is like, hey, we noticed that you are posting very interesting ways of naming body parts, and that's all that your content is about. We noticed you've been doing that a lot. We're going to just ban your account. And they might even ban your device or something. That is a thing they can do. They can shadow ban a device. So if you create new accounts on your phone after one of them gets banned, you'll get very low views on the next account because they can't trust that account.
Yeah.
Is there like a master list of words you can't use? Because I was doing some posts the other day. I'm like, can I use blood and kill and murder? I'm like, I'm not sure. Like,
you can't use blood and kill and murder. avoid, if you're talking, you have a lot more that you can say. You can say the word hand without TikTok being like, I know what you do with your hands. You can't use that word. But for, like, as a generality, murder, kill, killed, died, death, and then sexual body parts. We're not going to be talking about
Yeah.
wieners and what the lady
All
bits.
the
Yeah,
stuff
all
we
that
learned
The
in
stuff.
things
anatomy
that I
class. Yeah.
shan't say for YouTube. Um, we're talking about hot dogs YouTube. We're having a bonfire.
So I guess so one question I have then is, so with some of these people ruining it for everybody else on TikTok, is the best course then to, like you said, unfuck your TikTok and try to figure it out? Or has the pivot been for some people going to some of these other platforms? What have you seen there
So there
that's
are a
worked for
few
people?
things. So what I have started doing, because when I started the whole TikTok for authors thing, I was like, because it has, I think Emma took my original course. I can't remember. I know you took my recent workshop that I did that was all about making face content. You signed up for it. That's what counts. You plan on taking it.
Yes, I bought it and it is sitting in my tab right now, staring at me.
So
So,
I'm in your tab staring at you like,
Just
like,
open
Jack
bitch,
will see
this
you
that in a
dropped
second.
course.
200. Why have you not opened me yet? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't opened you yet.
But yeah, so basically when I made TikTok for authors originally, that's my original course. It's still available. It still has a ton of useful information and you guys get a discount for being BookFunnel, whatever, etc. But the point is, when I started it, I was like, not all authors are comfortable showing their face. And so I'm going to have the big section on making face content and making viral content and doing content well using your face. But then I'm going to have some sections on not using your face. And so then my course went viral and people were like, oh yeah, Kate Hall has this TikTok course that's all about slideshows. And I'm like, it's not all about slideshows. That's just all people want to do because it's easier. But they're starting to die off. So I might even put like a little disclaimer and be like, these don't work anymore. Do the other shit. Sorry, do the other darndy stuff. Like, I feel like the first Avengers movie when they're like making fun of Captain America for using a bad word.
Does this stuff ever cycle around? Because you know, like how fashion will cycle around 10 or 20 years. Do you ever see a time where TikTok will be like, okay, we're lifting tentatively the ban on slideshows and you can slip on through? Or is it just done and over?
Okay, so I know there's a rule about not getting political, but a lot of what's going on with TikTok is inherently political because if anybody doesn't know, the US has been trying to ban TikTok for years and said that TikTok needs to sell to a US company. I think it's all bull. I know that for a fact that all of the Congress members who brought it up, everyone who brought it up and talks about it, have massive campaign donations from Meta and Google, who own Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. TikTok's main competitors that like can't compete against how good TikTok's algorithm is, right? We know this, we know that it's all bull. But the reason we haven't seen this cycling around is specifically because TikTok has been like really, really tightening their restrictions because of trying to not get banned and now this potential sale to a US company that is supposed to go through in the spring. There was supposed to be a new app for the US September 5th that never happened. Some stuff. Okay, like it's been a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually about that because it just seems it's hard to find the news that actually of the sale and what might happen with that algorithm. And then there was the outside the US only app and what that would look like if you were if you're in the US or if you're in Europe. Does that mean that people in other countries are not seeing US content? Like how would that shift? So is that something you know anything about, or like have you found any information on that?
Despite knowing a lot about TikTok and being able to learn a lot about it, I don't have more information. I don't have a guy that's like working at TikTok being like, Kate, I got the inside scoop for you. Like I don't have an inside source on anything. I get like news notifications about the TikTok sale and TikTok ban. Basically, I don't have much more information. I try to update people when I can, but there's not a lot of information coming out about it, which is what's really frustrating. Back to what I was talking about with like content shifts and with doing face content or even doing like aesthetic content where you're like holding a copy of your book and you're videoing the book and you're talking to your phone while you're videoing and showing off the book and all of that. That kind of content doesn't just work on TikTok, it works on other socials. So a lot of what I'm trying to teach right now and trying to get people to understand is you need to make content that is set up for like with a viral content strategy, not just whatever people are doing on Book Talk today.
Mhm.
And you need to be posting it everywhere because say TikTok gets shut down. Okay, say that the sale doesn't go through and TikTok goes dark in the US one day and now you can't access it. Then you've lost all your earnings if you're 100% dependent on TikTok. So you've got to be doing these strategies and implementing these strategies and making good content no matter what you're doing. Basically, no matter what you're posting, you need to use like a viral content strategy. You need to hook people in your first 3 seconds. You need to stop pausing before you start talking and then taking a breath and then introducing yourself. Nobody cares. And when you do that, people scroll right by. In fact, I have friends that I follow on TikTok, and this is kind of a rude thing to say, but I have friends that I follow on TikTok that are like in the book industry and they have taken my course. And if they post that kind of video where they're, hi, how's everybody doing? Then I will scroll before they get through the phrase, how's everybody doing? Because I'm like, no, I'm not recording your content, or I'm not rewarding your bad content, you know better. So the important thing is have a hook that gets people to stop scrolling in your first 3 seconds. Make it so that you have good quality video, good quality audio. Kelly, you are wonderful, but your video quality, because you're in such a dark room, would not be ideal for TikTok, as an example. And like that's totally fine for our, for podcast recording because it's a podcast. But for TikTok, I would be like, Kelly, go outside.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense because it's like looks all dim and dark and it's
Yeah,
nice
and
for
even if you
here
have
for what we're
like
doing, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and an overhead light is not enough. You need to have good lighting. I am 6 feet from the window and I've lost 50% of the light of the window that is directly in front of me. Like I'm sitting here staring at my computer surrounded by the halo of the window on a bright sunny day where I'm at. And I'm still like, man, this lighting is bad right now.
Okay, don't leave Jack and me hanging. What about our lighting?
Yeah,
I think, Emma, out of everyone, you have the best lighting because you have a
sure.
very bright light near you. I think you have like a ring light or some extra light. Am I
It's
wrong?
literally there's an arm length. I have a lamp, an arm length, and then I have like a big studio halogen like 6 feet away. So I
Okay.
listened to you last time. Last time you said light, and I'm like, I'm
I've
gonna
got
listen
this
for the
guy.
light.
Okay.
I've got a
So
ring
yeah,
light on.
Emma wins the lighting competition.
For sure.
Yeah. For ring lights, you really have to have like one of the big, really freaking bright ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then see, now I'm just like,
This
let's
is
give a lesson about resource lighting.
had
that
a
we don't have.
larger one and then it broke. And so then I can't remember why I got this one, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically a spotlight for my face and that's about all it does.
Right.
It wouldn't be ideal for socials.
Yeah. So even just going outside can boost your content so drastically. Like I cannot express like going and walking around outside while you talk. Like if you're the type of person who walks around while you're on the phone, just do that except you're talking to TikTok.
What if that's like not your aesthetic? So like I write dark, court politics, gloomy, and then I'm outside and it's nice and sunny and the birds are chirping. I'm like, that's kind of not my aesthetic.
So your content isn't supposed to be about your book's aesthetic.
Okay.
Your book's aesthetic doesn't matter when it comes to your content creation. It really truly doesn't. What matters is the first thing people see. People need to get hooked on your content, and they're not going to do that if your video is pixelated. And when you are recording inside with bad lighting, your video is probably going to be pixelated, at least a little bit. And it's because your like capture thingy. Can you tell I went to film school and know all the technical terms, but I got 4 hours of sleep? So if your ISO is jacked up, basically.
Hey, Hey there.
shutter is not gonna, it's not absorbing enough actual light, so it's trying to compensate by just bringing up what it has.
Okay.
And that's why we get like kind of fuzzy looking videos, or where for some reason, even though you're shooting in 4K, it looks really like soft instead of being like a really crisp video.
Well, that's useful to know. It's all lighting then. Okay.
Yeah. So, and like even just walking around outside while you record, there's also what's called a visual hook with that, of the fact that you're doing something, people have something to focus on besides the fact that you're talking. So if I sit here and talk and make a video of me talking in my office and being like, so there's this demon rock star. He was my best friend when we were growing up, but he died and then his body got possessed by a demon and now we're doing it. Like if I'm talking about that, there's going to be much more interest if there's a visual hook component, which Emma would know about if she would watch my videos for the workshop. But the visual
Now,
hook can literally just, like, even if you don't want to walk around, stand up while you're recording if you can. Obviously, if you have medical issues that make it difficult for you to stand up, like, then that piece of advice is not for you. I feel a little bit crazy on the internet nowadays because somebody will be like, okay, but what if I got hit by a train and I am completely paralyzed and wrapped in a full body cast in the hospital? Am I still supposed to stand up and walk around? And I'm like, no, apply what advice you can, dude.
yes. Yes.
But yeah, so like even a visual hook can just be like looking through your book, or, ooh, wait, let me get my really good visual hook. You guys are going to be mad at me though.
Keep it family
So
friendly, Kate.
it's family friendly. It's not book lover friendly. It's extremely family. You guys thought I was going to grab something.
No
So
comment.
let's see.
Monster romance, hey.
Yeah, actually I had considered having something like that in the background of the video, and just not mentioning it. Okay, let me find
And
this
then the next
page.
post in the Facebook would be like, y'all, I got banned. Sorry.
Yeah. So my visual hook might be like, okay, so I'm pretty sure it's this page where my character, yeah, they kissed for the first time, even though he kidnapped her. So it is this page of this book. I ripped it a little bit. I'm really sorry about the little rip in the corner. But this is where they kiss for the first time, even though they're enemies and she is supposed to unalive him. So like that can be a visual hook. And I'm really sorry you all look a little bit traumatized. Jack looks like really
I know.
traumatized.
No,
It's like she pulled a
watching
page out of a book.
It's the
Yeah,
delay.
no,
It's
for
the
real.
delay.
That wasn't a prop page. This is my I call them marketing copies. Are you all familiar with the TikTok sound that's from the movie Madagascar, where the little squirrel guy's like, that's what
Oh, okay.
that's how these books feel.
And so you put those unique copies up on your store for a higher price, right? Because they were
I
using a
don't, because
video.
I tear them up so constantly. I have one video of this book where I have a video where I'm recording from my phone. So you can't see my face in the video at all, but I'm narrating over it. And so in the video, I was like, okay, so it's time to read on this nice summer day. And I'm like sitting in my pool and like holding the book open like this. And then this corner is constantly dunking in the water while I'm reading. And
So
then
you're
at the
just
end of the
trolling.
video,
Yeah,
oh no!
it's
And then at
rage
the end of the
clicks, right?
video, at the end of the video, I into the water.
Oh, that's
Y'all,
painful.
get your author copies if you're gonna do this. Don't like just buy it straight from Amazon. Get your author copy
Yeah,
price.
use
Like,
your
yo,
author
Yes.
copy budget.
Right.
I get mine. I order from Ingram Spark personally because I really like their copies, and I get a lot less damaged copies that way. But if you place an order through Amazon and you get a crap ton of damaged copies, like 70 out of your 90 copies are damaged, hypothetically, not that that's ever happened to me, but whatever. But
Yeah,
if
that
you have
happened.
some that are damaged, then those can be really good ones to be your marketing copies. So you can do crap like this that traumatizes people. Actually, I have an operations manager. She works for me. She does a lot of my stuff. I call her my Kate manager because she makes me do my job. So I told her when I had to record a video, it's in that workshop that Emma's in. I'm sorry, I keep bringing it up because nobody can sign up for it because sign up's closed. But there is a video in there where I rip a page out of a book, and she was like, don't do it while I'm in the room. And so she had to leave the room for me to record that video. So that's another visual hook, but you could also be like making a little iced coffee or something. Whatever
Right.
is fine. I'm detaching my personal microphones.
Okay, so instinctively, and I have not started the course yet, but I'm going to do that today. Instinctively, when I was thinking about face content, I'm like, you can't just be in front of your backdrop for every single video, Scheherazade. You got to get up and, walk around and do different stuff. So is that the case, or can you just have like one backdrop for all your videos,
You can
for all
just
your
have the
face
same
content?
backdrop for all of your videos. I just recommend
Okay.
having some kind of visual hook. Another one of my visual
Okay.
hooks, again, it's family friendly, but it's weird. I found this guy on Amazon. I'm notoriously a horse girl, and I found this horse shark. And so this is one of my visual hooks that sometimes he's just like on the desk, or he's just like sitting close to the books, and people are like, is nobody going to talk about that? What's his name? Who is he? What
Yeah.
is he?
Well, it's like I've seen a lot of creators will like purposefully mispronounce a word in the video to get people to comment. You said that wrong, and it helps drive some engagement in the comments
Yep.
and
Actually, we
whatnot.
were talking before the recording. My husband is an official Magic the Gathering content creator. So he was invited to MagicCon Atlanta. And 2 days before the convention started, because we were already in Atlanta. So 2 days before the convention started, we went to the Georgia Aquarium, which was right by our hotel. So we went there and he recorded a video and was like, yeah, I'm in Atlanta early for MagicCon, and we went to the Georgia Aquarium. I know people
Right.
aren't from Missouri when they say Missouri. They're like, I have family that lives in Missouri. And I'm like, you're not from there, though. And either your family is from the Boot Heel or you have never heard them say the name of the state they live in.
So, but you talked about authors with slideshows making things bad for other authors. And I'm just thinking, because I know we can do the same thing with face content. Like there's this one content creator, I adore her channel, but her whole thing is she will do the co-video thing. And the videos she does the co-video on, they're all very suggestive, like innocent things, but we all know, we all know.
Right.
And then she reacts to it. And I'm like, could we get away with something like that? Or will that just make us not have nice things again?
So the big thing is, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Slideshow content is so specific and still technically new, despite being several years old at this point. Slideshow content is new enough and it's not as commonly used. They introduced it in 2022, like right at the end of 2022, and not as commonly used. So basically, it's easier to ban hashtags from using that. But face content is an entirely different ballgame because TikTok wants people's faces. They want to know that people are genuinely creating content and that it's not like with slideshows, you could post the same slideshow on 50 accounts and have people in the Philippines doing it for, $3 an hour or something, right? So they want to know that people are like genuinely posting. So it's easier to tell it's genuine when it is face content and that you do some amount of editing in the app. So what I do for my in-app editing is I just have a note on my phone with my video description that I put like on the last page before you hit publish. So I use that video description and I paste it in, and then I just shrink it down really small and move it over to the side so that you cannot see it on the video.
Okay.
And then and then TikTok is like, yay, you put words on the app. We're amazed. Yeah. Also, speaking of descriptions, hashtags are dead. Don't use them anymore. Put keywords in your thing, but every single app is killing hashtags, including Instagram. Just stop using them.
That actually makes me happy. That makes me so happy. That's the most annoying thing of creating a post.
Yeah.
I do the post and then damn it, I got to go figure out hashtags. I hate that.
Right. I've heard about this. So from what I understand, TikTok and other platforms are also like even detecting like the words that you're saying in the video, and then they're using that information to see, like, to push it to who is interested in that type of.
Yeah, there's just so many other ways that they can figure out what the content is about. It's not 2012 anymore. They can figure out that the content is book content without you using hashtag book talk based on what you're talking about, what your description
for us in
looks
a
like.
way. Yeah, that makes it so much simpler. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
Are they still doing, like, if you were to be talking about your book, and one of the things that they had done, this was years ago when I was posting a little bit more, a lot of the creators were putting the actual title and the author in the first comment, and that way it wasn't on the page because they were suppressing when they knew that it was an author. And one of the things they had done to me a few times, because I had 2 accounts so I could go back and switch back to it, was they were blocking on my other account. I couldn't see that comment that had my name or my book title and author name. And people were like, what's the title? What's the title? Why don't authors ever put this in? And it's because
So
they were
yeah,
doing that. Is
so
that something that's still happening?
when you comment things that try to direct people to another site, TikTok is going to suppress that content because they want people to stay on TikTok. So for book titles, I just put them in the description at this point. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, I'm too tired to deal with all these comments of people begging for the title. They're still gonna ask what the title is, even though it's right fucking there.
Yeah.
And you like show off. I could be like, an impressive proposal by Kate Hall is this book in this genre, and like have it be like a sponsored post with a click link where they can click and go on Amazon. And then the description says, an impressive proposal, Kate Hall. And I'm still going to get comments that are like, why do authors never put the titles of their books? I'm going to be like, yeah.
That sounds so
So,
familiar.
That's the internet. That's just the internet for you, right?
yeah, but when you put the title in there and when you put it and make it clear, then people can argue on your behalf on TikTok in the comment section so that you don't have to. And like they can say certain things that you were maybe thinking but shouldn't be saying on a public facing account, like can you even read or something like that. And then I also, with my face videos, I will do like a little overlay of the book cover. And I'm not going to do it like, here's the book. I'm going to have like a little overlay where it's like just a little picture of the book right here
Okay.
while I'm talking, and for like 3 seconds so that people can be like, oh, it's a book. And I'm using this for illustrative purposes, but I just use like a JPEG.
Now, I'm going to take your course with this face content. Like, how fast for these activator people, how fast can you get started doing this? Like, with you're doing slideshows, you got to go make the slideshow, but is the face content just get up and start doing it, or?
Get up and start doing it. So if you want to learn a new thing, if you enjoy learning new things, I highly recommend using Adobe Premiere Pro. It's a professional video editing software. Like they use it in Hollywood to edit movies like Avengers and stuff. I don't know why I keep saying Avengers. I haven't watched a Marvel movie in a year. It's just all I can think of, even though I've been watching all the new DC stuff this week. So it's a professional editing software, and there is a bit of a learning curve, but it has this really cool feature that I am so in love with, where it will cut out your pauses automatically and it'll cut out your filler words automatically. And you can, when you import a video, you can have it so that your video that you're making will automatically fit to the size of the video you recorded. So if you record a vertical video on your phone, it'll automatically size it to that vertical video and match it. So you can do the like edit out the pauses, and you can do automatic captions. And it's really nice because I just get everything done in Premiere. And I even do a little visual hook because I talked about don't just sit and record, but like I like just sitting and recording, but there needs to be a visual hook. And I'm a sleepy lady. I'm so tired. So I just have like a little video effect that has like a little whoosh zoom at the beginning of my videos. And I'm like, there, visual hook. But I'm still talking the instant the video starts. So the whoosh kind of interrupts my first word. I would rather your first word get interrupted than have any sort of pause before your first word as you're talking. And you have to get to the point. That's all I ask. If you're like, I took Kate's advice and I posted today and it was all bull. I didn't get any views. Nobody liked my content. And then I go and look at your content and you are like, hey, welcome to my channel. I write books. Then I am going to come to the town nearest you and invite you to fight in the Denny's parking lot.
Book reviewers on TikTok do that a lot. And sometimes I want to know about the books they say they're going to talk about, but then they do this prologue and I'm like, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah. So if you're doing that, instead of doing that, and we still want to, if you watch my last interview, you know, I talk a lot about like picking emotional scenes for your marketing and not using blurbs. I still say that, but we got to do it in a slightly different way. Because when we're talking, people are going to be like, you're just reading the book. Why are you like, if you're pulling scenes the way I told before, people are going to be like, okay, you're just reading the book. So instead, I'm going to be like, let's say this one that I ripped. We're going to be nice to her for a second. So when I open my video, I might say, So I was sitting at work minding my own business when this guy literally kidnaps me. And turns out he's the king of this fae court called the Night Court. I didn't know fae were a thing. I work dispatch at a trucking company, okay? I was talking to a trucker who told me that he wasn't going to go into this adult video store because that's my job, apparently, to know. This guy shows up, walks in, knocks me out, kidnaps me, and then locks me up in his castle. Beautiful castle, still don't appreciate it. And tells me that I am his lost bride who ran away on our wedding day. And I'm like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about or who you are. He doesn't believe me. And then some lady shows up to talk to me and is like, hey, so I know you're in a sucky situation and you want to go home. We will make you extremely wealthy back on Earth, and all you have to do is unalive your husband. So I obviously, like, somebody tells me to unalive a guy, so obviously I said, yeah.
Please
If you
tell
want to
me
learn what
this is
else,
a real book. Is this a
and
real
if you
book?
want to learn what happens, you can read Night Court. It's on KU and it's on my
Bye.
TikTok shop. It's these special edition full series copies, and it comes with this beautiful piece of art.
Now, I need the title and the author. You didn't give me the title and the author.
Emma, this is one of my books. I wrote it.
Alexis Pierce. You think I'm joking? I'm about to go. That's my kind of book, girl. I'm about to go get it.
It's also I will say it's my least spicy book. Out of all of my books, it's my least spicy. It's not spicy. It's just my least spicy because I was like, I had written a bunch of reverse harem / why choose books where it's one girl with a bunch of boyfriends. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of genitals.
Now, is it really actually spice that sells or like tension? Like,
It's
because to me, it's all about the tension and not like the
it's
A
truly
and B.
the tension that sells. Because guess what? If
Okay.
I had told you, okay, so she's in the room with her fiance that hates her, and they're finally getting down and dirty, and she finds out that, and like, sure, like there's a million books that have spice, but when I tell you I get kidnapped at work by this fae king, and then somebody asks me to unalive him, and I say, heck yeah, that's when you're like, okay, I need to
Yeah.
read this, because a man kidnaps me from work and tells me that I'm supposed to marry him, and somebody is like, I'll make you rich if you kill him. Then I'm like, might as well. Like, that's where the drama is. That's where the, like, you know, what would you do type of thing. Because you can even word it a different way. So I might say, what would you do if you're just minding your own business at work? You work at a call center. You just got off the phone with a trucker who is telling you he's not going into an adult video store. And suddenly this big, tall, scary dude comes in and knocks you out and kidnaps you. And people are going to be like, me? This is happening to me? Is he hot? So we still want to go for that tension and that drama. We want to have a little bit of relatability, but it doesn't have to be quite as relatable as when we were doing the slideshows. We can have some kind of crazy stuff going on in these versus the slideshow strategy that I was talking about, but still big unrelatable things like, I must stop the galactic war. People are going to be like, okay, why do I care about the galactic war? We need to care about people. One good example of this, I love how Jack was like, this is going to be a very structured thing. This interview is going to be very structured. We're going to go over this. And I'm like, we will go over everything, but your structure is getting destroyed. But anyway, so like, to make people care about it and to make people want it, we need to look at like the small things. In Mulan, the animated movie from the 90s with the bisexual icon Shang and all of this beautiful animation and all of this, it's hard for us to care about the war, right? Because we don't really know what's going on. We know the Huns are bad and they're bad guys and they're doing bad things, but it's hard to conceptualize and understand the horror and the tragedy of this war until they show up at this village that has been decimated. And not only has Shang's father been killed, but they are walking through the village and Mulan finds a child's doll on the ground. And that's the heart of it. That's the emotional part. We need to see these small things to care about the big things. So if your book is about, it's this high fantasy with a lot of political intrigue and big battle scenes, we still need to see the small things and care about the small things in order to care about the big things. We don't care if our main character is riding off into battle to kill all these hundreds of people unless we see how this has personally affected her.
Okay. One more technical question. Jack, don't kill me. but I really need to know this. Like, I cannot let you go without knowing this since we're talking about face content. How cute do I have to get? Like, do I have to come with at least a half face and my hair? No, I'm serious, Jack, because some days I don't want to do content because my face is not on and my hair ain't did. And I'm like, do I have to get cute or what?
I get it.
Okay, so just for reference, we are doing a podcast. I knew this interview was coming. I am on day 3 hair, no makeup. And for any men out there, they're like, what is day 3 hair? Every woman here is like, I know exactly what day 3 hair is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm on day 2.
okay, there you go. So you have long hair. It doesn't count.
I do. I know. Yeah. That's how I know.
Like you don't have to get super cuted up. You can, if you feel like you need to use a filter, you can. And actually speaking on how cute do I need to be, because a lot of people who are looking into this for the first time are like, Kate, I'm 75 years old and I write really super spicy like romantic suspense books. Nobody wants to, like, if nobody wants to watch a video where I am talking as though I'm the main character and I had a one night stand with this hot or this hot retired Marine. People get mad when I say ex-Marine, and I'm like, my dad was a Marine and I don't care what the terms are. I'm so sorry for anyone who does, but I am just like, I'm going to say it how I say it and I'm going to forget. So she's like, nobody wants to see me talk about this. And I'm like, you're acting like your age and your appearance is a negative on this, but who do you think people are going to interact with more in the comments? Is it going to be a cute 25-year-old who's like perfectly skinny and has her makeup perfectly done, who's like, everybody's surprised I had a one night stand with this guy who was in the military and he's so great? Like, are we going to be surprised by that, or are we going to be surprised when a 75-year-old wearing a muumuu is like, so last week I had a one night stand with this 29-year-old military guy?
And it's lean into it, right? Like,
Exactly. Lean
Okay.
into it. Like, instead
Yeah.
of being afraid of what people are going to say, lean into it. It makes it so much more fun because people are going to be like, wait a second. This one lady that's in my workshop, actually, one of the ones she posted was, she was like, and it's so wonderful because she's older, and she was like, I was really surprised by the comments because even my daughter called me to check if this was true, because the video was, so I just found out that I'm pregnant with my one night stands baby. And I think
God.
she said she was 65. I think she said she's 65 years old, and her daughter called her and was like, Mom, are you pregnant? And her mom
Because
was like,
somewhere
"No."
on TikTok, someone did do that video for real. So now we're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're worried that your age or your appearance, and like, I'm very good at framing my camera to be very flattering, but I'm not a small lady. I am a plus sized woman. I have some curves. So instead of worrying about the comments that are often teenage boys calling me a fatty whale, I'm gonna lean
future
into it.
incels.
Yeah, current incels, actually.
Yeah.
You can be an incel and be 12. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to look like this and be like, so I slept with a model. And people are going to be like, you did? Or I'm going to be like, so this NFL player is obviously obsessed with me. And people are going to be like, okay, wait, I need to figure out what magic you're working because I need it for myself. And that's why they're going to watch the video. They're going to be like, she doesn't look like a supermodel. Therefore, I need to figure out why an NFL player is obsessed with her, or why.
This is reminding me of this rage bait creator, who was talking about how, and she does this with a completely straight face. She's like, I've been vegan for 5 years and I eat eggs every day for breakfast because I
Oh my
get eggs
God.
that have they have a vegetarian diet, which means the eggs are vegan. I also eat like vegetarian fed chicken because like, and you can just see like all the people in the comments going, that's like on both sides of the vegan issue, right? People who are like, not vegans and people who
Right,
are. Right, because the joke is, how do you know somebody's a vegan? Sorry to any vegans in the audience, but this is a joke. How do you know somebody's a vegan? They'll tell you.
right.
And she's kind of like leaning into that meme and that trope, but then like, and getting
Yeah.
tons of engagement. And so I can see if that fits, obviously, with what you're trying to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
just just lean into it and embrace it, and it'll probably be more successful than if you took yourself too seriously.
I think too, it's like the point of view thing seems to have been like that sort of feel seems to have been like sticking around, because the last time you were here, we were talking about
Mhm.
the slideshows, and it was definitely, I remember it was, you have to pick an emotion that's like loneliness, like something that makes you feel lonely,
Yep.
and then put
And
it
I
in the
still do
point of
that
view.
as well.
Yeah, so something that stuck with me, and actually was able to use that, and I use like videos that I've been putting into ads that have been doing really well, but they are kind of a slideshow, but it's a video instead, so it's like 2 or 3 seconds on the screen each slide, and that loneliness factor, I think, is what is pulling in people for that ad. So
Yeah.
it's that, and the point of view, it's
Yeah.
you that's feeling it. You're feeling the loneliness. You are feeling
Yeah.
despair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And another thing is, because I want to point out, because we've talked a lot about base content and I can feel people tuning out despite the fact that this is a pre-recorded thing. So if you don't want to do face content, I highly recommend even just doing narrated content where you're showing off the
Okay.
book and going through the pages and being like, oh, look at my beautiful chapter beginnings and my like chapter splits, and there's this beautiful art that comes with every book, and there's signed, like, show off a physical copy of your book while you're talking and while you're still doing these scenes. Okay. We were talking about TikTok Shop, and I know we wanted to go over TikTok Shop, and I was like, there's actually a specific thing about it I want to talk about. So this book, I did not write it. This is actually a book that one of my clients wrote, and she wrote it and it published last year in 2024, because anybody watching this later, this was written and published in 2024. This is a special edition of it that she showed me the special edition during one of our sessions, and I was like, I will give you a free one-on-one session if you mail me a copy of that book, just because it's so beautiful. Like, it's gorgeous, okay? But she was selling and making a ton of money on TikTok Shop with like her normal signed paperback copies of this book. And because of the numbers she was running on TikTok Shop with this book, and the numbers she was running and on Amazon from posting just TikTok Shop content, because people would be like seeing the TikTok Shop videos and then they would just go read it on KU or buy the ebook. Because of that, she got a traditional distribution deal through Podium. So her books next week, as of recording this, but probably like today or tomorrow, as of the video going up, like the book is going to be available at like Walmart and Target and Barnes and
Yeah.
Noble and stuff,
Sweet.
because of the work we did together on TikTok Shop. And she wasn't making face content. She wasn't showing her face for the content. She was recording, like, she was holding the book, she was showing it off. She was doing those types of videos where you can see like the pages, and then at the very end, she would flip it to show the book. And then she would like show the tropes, and she would narrate some of them, and she would just do like the text with a music background on some of them. And she did a lot of these, and she always tagged her book on TikTok Shop, because what this does is it gives TikTok, the app, an extra incentive to share the video, to have more people see the
Right.
video, because TikTok makes money from every book sale.
Yep.
So
Okay.
even though a massive amount of her income was coming from like her Amazon store, still from her like KDP account, she was getting that because she was tagging her book on TikTok Shop, and she didn't have
Right.
to do face content to do it, but she was doing these same kinds of scripts where she was talking in a dramatic way about this thing that happened. So for this one, I remember we talked about not talking about smutty scenes. What I mean by that is don't go into detail, don't describe your smutty scene. But for this one, and Jack, I don't know how much smut you read or write, but I feel like Emma, at the very least, Kelly, do you write romance as well?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Kelly and Emma will
Yeah.
understand when I say this is not a smutty scene, she says. So she'll be like, so I had my stalker unalive someone in my kitchen, and then we did things next to the body, and that
Hey,
was
one
crazy. But
click.
then I realized kind of what was going on, and I yelled at him, my literal stalker who just unalived someone in my kitchen, and I like start yelling at him. I'm like, who do you think is going to clean this up? Who do you think is the person who has to clean this up in my kitchen? Okay, it's not going to be you. You're going to leave, and I'm going to have to clean this up. Thanks a lot, man. So for the people who do read Spice, you're like, it does mention that Spice happened, but it's not the spicy scene.
Sure.
But it's also that really shocking thing of you are behaving in certain ways next to a corpse. I'm sorry for anyone who doesn't read dark romance. Dark romance gets really messed up. Actually, I went on a retreat in Mexico in 2024. I went on a retreat in Mexico, and one of the other authors was dark romance. I don't consider myself a dark romance author. I really like writing some light, fluffy stuff. But she was like, I need an idea for this torture scene for this bad guy who like attacked his girl. And I was like, ooh, what if you do this? And she looks at me and is like, Kate, that is fucked up. I'm not going to do that.
So I had a question about the TikTok shop and like the management of it and like how much time, because I think it's a lot of people are a little intimidated by it. I started to set one up and then I'm like, do I really have the time to do the shipping and all of the stuff? So like what sort of management do you do for your shop, and like where do you source the books and that sort of thing? Like what
So,
is your setup?
yeah, so I order my books from Ingram Spark, and then I order my art. I actually do my own character art. I'm an artist, and I don't use AI. So when I say I do my own art, I'm not saying I generated a Midjourney. I say I paint it on my iPad. So I do my own
Oh my
art. I
God.
order
So
those
pretty.
from
Gorgeous.
so I order those from Vistaprint. Then I also order bookmarks. Here, I'm gonna show off some of my
Yeah.
stuff. So like I order, there it is. Okay, I have to show this one because it has my horse on it. Fun fact, I have a horse riding lesson today, and I based the horse in this cowboy romance off of my actual real life horse. So I got to paint my horse on my art. So then I have like double-sided bookmarks, and then I have like my art. This is the book where I vowed to never give a girl 5 boyfriends again because this art broke me.
It's so pretty.
It's for
You're
my
so good at that. Wow.
I work really hard at it. So thank you. So I get all of that printed through Vistaprint. And then my books I order through Ingram Spark. And I do my interior design for my books with vellum, which if anybody remembers this past spring, somebody was like, this says made with vellum AI, or this says made with
Yeah.
vellum. This author
Yeah.
clearly used AI. And it's like, yeah, so I did research and I actually did a YouTube video on the subject because I was like, vellum is a formatting software that authors use that has no AI tools. You Googled vellum because you wondered what this was and found vellum AI, and you did not bother to look at what vellum AI is because vellum AI is a software encoding AI. It cannot be used to write a book. Like it's physically not possible. But yeah, so I'll like
Yeah.
format and put my little art and stuff in my
And
books with vellum.
and the folks at Vellum have changed that message since then. I
They
can't remember
have.
what
It says
Yeah.
formatted by
Right.
vellum.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did that almost immediately, which was wonderful because
They
people
did.
were
It was
freaking out.
within 24 hours.
Yeah, within the
It
day
was
they had
bonkers.
fixed that.
Yeah.
So you are not, so those aren't special editions, because a lot of people are like, well, I got to design a special edition. I got to get
You
the
don't have to design a
beautiful
special edition.
trim.
Yeah, so what I recommend for TikTok Shop, what sells best. So Emma, I can see one of your books in the background that is just absolutely stunning, has absolutely stunning character
Shameless self promo.
design. Everybody buy Emma's book. So I can see like you have it, but what sells better on TikTok Shop is going to be discrete editions. So what I do for my books where they're a series where each book is about the same characters, I do these special edition covers that are like my full series editions, and these are all I sell on TikTok Shop. We talked earlier. I have 36 books published. I cannot keep 10 copies of 36 different books in stock. I cannot do it. So I have these special editions for all of my older books that are like series where every book is about the same couple. So like all of these ones are about Siobhan and Roan. And then I have my covers for my billionaire romance are already discrete. I design all my own covers, so it's a lot easier for me because I can just do it all myself. And I'm like, if I need a new cover, I can get one up in a day.
Okay.
And then the only ones that I don't have a discrete cover anymore, which these originally came with discrete covers, but monster romance art covers just sell better because people want to know what the monster looks like because he's weird and scary. Art covers sell better on monster romance, but not on like regular paranormal romance or billionaire romance. And
Do you think that's
Manchest
like a
covers don't
self-insert
sell really
thing?
well.
Do you think that's like a
It's-
self-insert thing?
No, so what it is that when people buy physical books, then they want it on their shelf because it's pretty, but they also know that they
Gotcha.
might read it in public and they don't want people asking about the sexy shirtless man.
Yeah.
on their book
Yeah.
because there's still a lot of shame about reading spicy books. There's still a lot of shame around the subject. So
So this is like I don't know if you can see, this is like my like regular cover. It's kind of,
that one would sell great on
It's
TikTok Shop.
so pretty. I
yeah,
like that
that
cover.
that one. And then this is the second book. So I was like, if you did it as a bundle, do bundles sell? Like these two go
Bundles do
together, so
sell.
they're a duet.
Yeah. So what I
Yeah.
would do is I would have each book at its normal price that you sell it on Amazon or on your website or whatever, have it at its normal price individually, and then take like $5 off per book so that the bundle is $10 cheaper than buying them separately. So that's what I do. Just make sure you price appropriately. So if you're ordering special editions from 48-hour books and each book costs you $40 to print, don't sell them for $40 each because you still have to pay for your shipping envelopes, which I order from Amazon, and then your printer thingies. I use these little thermal printers. I love them, and they come in every color of the rainbow. So if you want pink like I do, I don't know if you can tell by looking at everything about me, but everything I do has to be pink. Literally everything. Literally every time I design a cover for a book that's first in the series, I'm like, the first cover has to be pink. There has to be so much pink on it that it makes people vomit. And then book two, actually, wait, here's another one. Here's what my cowboy romance, and it's like a mauve pink color. So, also, fun fact, I took the photo that's on this cover at an actual reining horse show, and then I changed enough of the details that it's unidentifiable as to who the rider is, but this is a real professional cowboy on the cover of this book.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Yeah. Just a fun little fact. But yeah, so everything has to be pink. Bundles work great. They sell really well, and people love them because it feels like they're getting something even more special because they're getting all of the books signed at once. So all of their books in that series will be signed copies. If you want to do special editions, I recommend finding a company on a website like Alibaba that does special editions because 48-hour books, you're going to spend $20, $30, $40 a copy. If you want like a paperback with sprayed edges, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And then hardcovers obviously are going to be more. And then if you want the like foil on the dust jacket, then that's going to cost more. And then the foil on the case wrap, that's going to cost more, right? And then this one also has the sprayed edges, so that's going to cost more. So when you order from one of these bigger places, from China, you're still going to get very high quality books, but it costs a lot less, but you're going to have a higher minimum order quantity. So you can't just order like one or two, you're going to have to order like 100 at least. So special editions are something to wait on until you have like a proven book that sells really well already, that has a proven audience, because people who've already read the books are going to be most of the people who buy it.
Now, does the
Right.
TikTok shop audience, are they pre-order friendly? Because not all audiences
No,
are.
TikTok Shop is not a pre-order friendly site whatsoever.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
Because so TikTok Shop specifically, you have to ship the book out within 2 days. So what I do is I pre-sign all of my books and then I pre-wrap them and I record every time I'm signing books. I video record me signing the books so that I have that for content. And then I record myself wrapping the books for content. We want to have the content. So I have like my very tall standing desk that I use in my office. So my laptop is currently on it, or I would show you guys. So I have that and I set up my camera. I don't have a tall enough camera stand for my normal camera, so I just take this bookshelf right here and turn it sideways, and it's really loud to move every time. But I turn it sideways and then put my camera on it and record myself signing my books. So then I record myself wrapping all of the books. Because then what I can do in the end, overall, when I've recorded all this stuff, I can have a video recording of me taking the book off the shelf, a recording of me putting it on the table, and then me signing the book, and then wrapping that book, and then putting that book in an envelope, and then closing the envelope. And these could be videos that were taken days apart, right? But it tells a story. It tells the story of getting the book off the shelf, signing it, making it feel very luxe and custom and exciting for readers who want these signed books. When I take a book off of the shelf and sign it, and video while I'm doing that, and video packaging it up. If somebody orders a bundle, I'm going to record pulling each of the books off the shelf, getting my packaging ready. I have bundle boxes that are black boxes that are beautiful. That was a fun sentence to say. Black bundle boxes that are beautiful. So I have those, and I'll set those up and get those all set and video record while I'm putting the books in there. And then later I can record a narration over the top of. So someone ordered my Strange Rockstars bundle, and it comes with all 3 Strange Rockstars book, and it comes with my Christine and Joseph keychain that has a little chibi Christine that I drew on one side and Joseph on the other. You can't see the other side because this dime bag is not see-through on both sides. I mean, normal bag that's not for weed. I got it because it was shiny, okay?
Right.
And then I put a little holographic sticker on the back with the book so that you would remember which book it's from. So then it comes with that, and it comes with the bookmark, and it comes with the art, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to record that stuff as I do it so that I have that piece of content. And then I'm going to post that content, and I'm going to say, I'm just going to say, and I only have limited copies, so you can order now before I run out. And I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say it's available on TikTok Shop, because I'm going to post this video on YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok Shop, and my online store, my AlexisPierce.com store or my KateHallBooks.com store is going to be linked on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, so that if people want to buy a physical copy, they can buy it from there, and then they can still hope that their video will get recorded of their book shipping out, because somebody might comment and be like, oh my God, I think that's the bundle that I just bought. I think that's mine headed my way. And so people get excited about that, right? You can also do live videos where you're packaging orders, and you can actually link products on TikTok Shop when you go live, but you have to be live for more than 90 minutes for a live to actually be all that effective, because TikTok hates us.
Speaking of live streaming, this is kind of the perfect opportunity to bring up an upcoming BookFunnel feature. I don't know if you've heard about it, Kate, or
I
not.
haven't.
So we are in November, we're going to be releasing a digital ebook signing. The idea being that you can, at in-person events, sign ebooks for people and have them sign up for your mailing list right there in person. Or you could even sell those digital copies as signed ebooks, which is, it's going to be interesting to see what readers react to it, because obviously signing a physical copy makes a lot of sense, but TikTok live and just going live on social media in general was one thing that stood out to me. Like, I can go live, talk to readers, and BookFunnel is going to give you the ability to have a landing page that they can go to then submit their email, and you could be signing ebooks for people on a TikTok live stream and growing your mailing list at the same time.
That's definitely very interesting. I'd be very curious to look into that when it comes out. When I'm in Germany, because I'm going to be in Germany when that comes out.
Right. So I guess I'm just springing this on you right now, right? So obviously you haven't had the time to fully digest the brilliance of this feature, but for something like that, somebody who wants to live stream, whether it's using this feature that I discussed or anything, like, what do you got to do there for 90 minutes, you said? I know for some people that can be intimidating. What do you do to make that interesting, make it worth your time?
The majority of viewers on a live stream are going to watch for 7 seconds or less. 7 seconds is the average view time on a live per person. A lot of that is because some people will jump in and then jump out after watching for like 3 seconds, and then some people will stay for a few minutes. Most people are not going to stay for very long. Like, they're going to kind of get the idea, and then if they're not going to buy a book, they're going to go. Does anyone remember like shopping channels or like infomercial channels and like late night when every channel turned into an infomercial channel where it would be like, all right, we're going to go over all the features of this product. Call now. All right, we're going to go over all the features of this product. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is, like, this is my ShamWow, and I'm going to be going over the features of my ShamWow, and then I'm going to go over the features of my Flex Seal or whatever that others, I think it's Flex Seal or something like that. The tape that the guy slaps it on the big water barrel that's leaking. Right. And I'm going to go over the features of it. Then I'm going to go over the features of the next book. I'm going to go over the features of the next book, and I'm going to give each book about a minute and a half and go over the features and show off the art and tell people about the book. And then I'm going to loop back around and start again with the first book that I have. And I'm just going to keep doing that over and over and over again. It's super boring. It's very labor intensive. But if you do it right, and if you do it for, I would say set up your first one for like 30 minutes to an hour and expect 0 sales. Just expect 0 sales, just kind of to try it. 30 minutes to an hour. And then you want to start doing them for 2 hours. You don't have to do, like, I wouldn't do just right at 90 minutes, because 90 minutes is when they're going to start being like, okay, you're serious about this. Let's start giving you viewers. But like going more than 2 hours and talking is exhausting. And I know this because I talk for a living. I know I write books for a living, but like a lot of it is just talking about the books, right? And talking about everything else that I do with authors in the author industry. So it's super exhausting to talk for 2 hours. So it's not sustainable to do it every day, but it's something you can plan for once a week or once a month. And it's a really good way to increase your subscribers or followers or whatever. And it's a good way to sell some books. Every time I go live, if I do like a week where I'm like, I'm going to go live every day this week, and I'm live for 2 hours each of those days, then I've done this experiment a couple of times. Every time I do it, my sales double the next day from the previous day. And so by the end of the week, I'm selling, and it's not quite double. So sometimes it's like I sold 4 copies the first day. The second day, I sold 6 or 7
but
or 8.
noticeable.
So a very noticeable spike, though. And so by the end of the week, I'm selling like 20, 50 books in a day in one live, because TikTok is like, yes, you go live at this time. You've been very consistent. Here you go. We want you to use this feature, because people spend money to watch lives. They spend money on those little roses and crap. And so TikTok wants people to use lives. They want people to go on the lives and do the gifts or buy the things on TikTok Shop. And so lives are very heavily rewarded, and they're very heavily rewarded on Instagram and Facebook as well. And you can use the software like OBS, which is open broadcasting software. You can use softwares like that to go live on multiple places simultaneously.
If an author wants to get started on TikTok or getting started with all of the things that you've talked about, what would they do today? Like, what could they do to get started that would help them?
Yeah, so the first thing that you're going to do is get a hook. Figure out your hook. That's the first 3 seconds of your video. And what I like to do is I pick a scene from my book. We were talking earlier about like emotional scenes that are like emotional but relatable, especially that appeal to like loneliness or insecurity. Pick a scene like that from your book. I don't care what genre you write, whether it's about a weathered detective in a small town where way too many murders happen, or it is the spiciest Minotaur romance you've ever written in your entire life. I don't care what your genre is. Pick something that's like, that kind of appeals to that sense of loneliness of the person being alone, and then write a hook on it and it might be like, so my Minotaur boyfriend just dumped me after 3 years together. For one of them, I actually just pulled scripts for a client, because we do that now. That's something we offer at Align Digital now. Fun fact. We write these scripts. So another one that I wrote that was for a historical fiction, not romance at all. It has like the guy is married, so there's some romance. So one of the hooks that I really, really, really loved for this was the rich Scot. So this rich Scotsman just rescued a little girl from being horribly abused, and he finds out that everybody in town hates her. Despite everything she's been through, like nobody tried to help her, everyone hates her. And so you want to come up with a hook like that. Okay, just something from your book that appeals in some way. Or if you can't find something that is emotional and relatable, you could also do something shocking. So from that same book, I might be like, so this Scotsman just rescued a literal 9-year-old girl, and when they go into town, he finds out that she's planning on getting married to a teenage boy in town, because that's going to shock people. They're going to be like, whoa, 9 years old, what the hell are you talking about? So something shocking, and then you're going to tell the basis of the scene like you're talking to a friend at a diner. Imagine you're sitting at a diner and your husband is talking, and you're like, husband, I need you to stop talking because the people at the table behind us are saying some wild shit. So this has to be the spouse shut up type of story, right? Or like, hey, be quiet. We both need to listen into this conversation because it's crazy. And so like for the one where the little girl is claiming that she's going to get married. So after the hook, he finds out that she's 9 years old and planning on getting married. So what happened was she saw this boy when they were getting lunch, and she saw him and went out behind where he worked and was talking to him, and she told him her situation, that this guy literally like paid her father off so that he could take her and her brother away from their really, really super abusive dad. So she's talking to this boy, and he's like, oh, this guy is rich. Let's rob him tonight and then we'll run away together. And so then he kisses her. She's 9. Okay, this is weird. She's 9, but she's like thinking this is fine and normal because she's been through some shit. And right as he kisses her, this Scotsman like turns like the corner and sees this happen and like grabs the boy and is like, what are you doing? And the girl is like, no, it's fine. We're getting married. He's going to marry me. And the guy's like, you're 9. And she's like, no, I'm 9.5.
Okay.
Yep, that makes a difference right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying, though. Shocking, something that's going to
Yeah.
get people's attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I want you to do, you can either pull multiple hooks, multiple scenes, or you can just do this one and tell the story on camera. Pretend you're on FaceTime with your like weirdly sexual aunt who always has like a weirdly sexual story to tell. So she's going to love any drama that you give her. Pretend you're on the phone with her giving the story. You can walk around outside or something, somewhere with good lighting. You want to like walk around and tell the story. Or if you have some really good lighting in a part of your house, and I don't mean like your room is kind of bright and you have a window that kind of sees outside and you can turn on an overhead light, because that's going to make your view kind of fuzzy, but like really, really good lighting. Okay. And you're just going to tell that, and you're going to do it 7 times. And then you're going to bring that video, you're going to record it just on your phone, in your phone's camera, not in the TikTok app. And then you're going to go and you're going to bring that into TikTok, edit out all of the pauses. And this is the annoying part. You have to edit out every time you take a breath. So every time you're like, because you're talking so fast, I know this because I do this and I hate editing that part out. You can edit that on the TikTok app, or you can edit it in CapCut, or you can edit in Adobe Premiere Rush, which is a free app on your phone that's like an Adobe Premiere owned one, which is always good because Adobe makes like the professional apps that are used for all the movies and stuff. So use that, edit out all the pauses. I would rather your first word be interrupted than like have any sort of pause at the beginning. I'm not even kidding. And do not introduce yourself, or I will fight you in that Denny's parking lot. When, just give me a when and where. Swear. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna fight any viewers in a Denny's parking lot.
Boy. No, that's
And then like throw some automatic captions on the video and put a hook at the top of the video for the first 3 seconds as well, so that people know why they're watching. So the hook at the top of the video might not be that first sentence you're saying. You might say something like, so when I was 9, I thought I was going to get married. Or it might be, so turns out I slept with my boss. Or I'm definitely getting fired today. Or something like that. Just a text caption that's another visual hook, that's something that people can read and be like, wait, I need to find out this story. I need to find out what happens. And then have those automated captions go over, and do the ones where either it highlights every word as you go, or where it's just one word at a time. And don't do anything too bright and colorful where it like shifts through the colors of the rainbow or something. Like you can do something that's like white text with like the pink that highlights each word, but don't do one where it's like white text and then the text turns pink and then blue and then purple and then red and like cycles through the colors. Like it's too much. Don't do things that are too much. Don't add too much, or people are going to be like, this is very badly made and it's amateur and I can't stand looking at it for some reason, because it just feels cheap. And you can do it for inexpensive without it looking cheap. And then literally like paste your caption, it like your description, which I do my book title, and then I do my hook again. So I do, when the rich Scotsman finds out that the 9-year-old girl he just adopted is trying to get married. And then I'm going to have the blurb of the book. I'm going to censor any words like murder or any body parts. You shouldn't have body parts in your description. You shouldn't be talking about this guy's new heights of manhood in your thing. Kelly's listened to the album, I can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like don't talk about that stuff on your description. And then put like some keywords. So be like, Waking Her Demon is a demon rock star romance with tons of angst, or something. Like have some keywords so that people have the keywords. And it's also going to help when you have those keywords of like putting it in the right categories. So put that. I just copy and paste the same description for each book. I'm not even going to lie. I don't do a new one for each thing. I have a note in my notes app for each book, and then I paste that description in. You don't have to do a whole new one. It doesn't have to be that hard. Don't make things harder on yourself. But record like 5 or 6 of these videos and then get them all edited and put them in your draft so that you have a post every day. It'll take you 20 minutes once you can convince yourself to record. Sometimes I have to have a little bitty baby panic attack right before I start recording, which adds about 10 to 15 minutes to my filming time. But then I do it. So don't be worried if you have a little tiny baby panic attack before you start recording either.
right.
And then just do it and just record them all at once. Like get them all done. Nobody cares if you're wearing the same outfit. Nobody cares if your makeup isn't done. Nobody cares if you're 65 years old. Nobody cares if you're a man talking about like spicy romance. Like honestly, if Jack were to be like, okay, so I just found out that I'm pregnant with my one night stands baby, people are going to be like, I need this story. I need Like, don't
I'm
worry
writing the
about who
wrong
you are.
stuff then. I'm writing the wrong stuff. Really
There
am.
are men who write romance, and I
I
just
know, I
sometimes they're
know,
like, well,
I
what if
know.
people find out I'm a man? And I'm like, use it. But yeah, so just use that and record them and get your drafts up so that you can start posting once a day. Because when you post consistently, that's where you see the money. Don't expect post number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go viral. Okay, but when you start posting consistently, you're gonna start to see views, and it's gonna be slow at first because it's not 2022 anymore. It's gonna be slow at first, but when you post consistently for 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, you're going to start to see viral content as long as you're making videos the right way. The end.
So for 15
And
to 30 days. Okay.
what about like reusing, like recycling something that you've already posted? Does it and
If you do that,
like
I would
using the same
re-edit the
video?
video. So if you're going to
Okay.
reuse it, I would re-edit the video, but I would actually prefer that you just re-record it, even if you're recording it in an identical way. You're like, you know what? This went viral when I posted it walking past my neighbor's house because he has a weird garden gnome that is like naked and people commented on that. I'm going to re-record the exact same thing. Just because then TikTok is not going to see it as duplicate content and unoriginal
Okay.
content.
But an actual duplicate kind of gets a little bit less views, or
Yeah.
they sort of suppress it if
Yeah.
you actually duplicate it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I was
All right.
furiously taking notes, and then I realized, Wench, you've got the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this is a sign. You should go open the course.
It's all in the workshop, and I'm really sorry for everyone watching, but workshop signups closed well before we ever recorded this podcast. But
Right.
it's a
That's
very
how you
fun
got me,
workshop.
too. Your last FOMO email got me. I was like, I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing, but it's working, damn it.
Yeah. When it works, it works. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Kate, I want to thank you for joining us today. Anything else you want to shout out before we wrap up here?
I think that's it. I think I went over
Okay.
everything before I lose my voice.
Where can we'll obviously put links in the description here on YouTube, but where can folks go to find you
Yeah,
and your
absolutely.
courses
So
and stuff?
I have like an Instagram and a TikTok and stuff. I have Kate Hall Biz and I have Kate.align, ALYNE. It's the same spelling as the thing on everything. And then my website is aligndigital.com. I now have the option to work with me. So if you're like, Kate, I don't know how the hell to write these scripts, we have come up with a proprietary script writing system that's in-house only. We have professional script writers that have like master's degree in literature and stuff working for us to make sure that we pull these scripts properly. We don't use AI for our scripts. And for anybody who's worried that we're going to plug your book into AI, we do not do that. And so if you're wanting to work with us, you can also email. And then I have, of course, my like original courses and course bundle that used to be like $200 a course, but now you can get all 5 of them for just a flat $2.99 on my website as well. And if you use the code BookFunnel20, you can also get 20% off of the bundle or individual courses. You just can't use it for like working with us stuff.
Gotcha. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you again. It was this conversation did not disappoint. We'll definitely have you back again in the future, Kate, as things continue to. I'm sure the things in this landscape are going to continue to shift and change, and so we'll need to have you back. Maybe next year,
Yeah.
maybe another. Who
Well,
knows?
I'm also going to shift
Yeah.
and change. No super hardcore details, but I recently signed on with an agent, and we're looking at some stuff for trad publishing that I think will help a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're looking at some nonfiction for trad publishing, and if it's going to be big, you're going to see me on
Cool.
Oprah's not on the air
Cool.
anymore. You're going to see me on the Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore show.
Would have.
Ooh,
I'm
I'm excited
manifesting
for
it.
that. You
I'm
are. That's
manifesting it.
awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
But thank you.
That we'll keep our ear to the ground. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Kate. Thank you, of course, to
Thank
my
you.
co-hosts, Emma and Kelly. You guys, I couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, of course, to our viewers in the audience. Thank you for watching. If you're watching here on YouTube, while you're here, please subscribe to the channel, like the video. And if you had one major takeaway, please leave that in the comments. It really does help boost the visibility of the video. And if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please follow us there and leave us a review. It really does mean a lot. For all of us here at BookFunnel, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos from BookFunnel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.